Hello and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Badge. Today's topic will be looking at something that's not often heard about, but it's very prevalent throughout a lot of our communities. And that makes it a perfect time to take a look at our Crimes Against Seniors Squad. The squad is made up of 4 detectives, all of whom investigate crimes committed against persons aged 60 or older, or crimes committed against vulnerable adults. Sergeant Robin Schaus heads up the squad, and she tells us that the elderly in particular can fall victim to a number of different crimes.
What we typically investigate is exploitation, neglect, and abuse of senior citizens. We have a lot of scams that are targeted towards vulnerable adults in our community, forgeries, fraudulent power of attorneys, your regular theft by unlawful takings where you have a vulnerable adult that is primarily the victim due to their age or vulnerability.
Many criminals specifically look for older persons to prey upon. Sergeant Schaus says they see the elderly as easy victims and often use fearful and intimidating tactics against them.
A lot of perpetrators are family members. It's the family members who come in and know the wealth that the senior may have. The family member deals with them on a daily basis. They recognize the senior's vulnerabilities. And then other times we have caregivers who come into the home, recognize the vulnerabilities, maybe the senior's memory is starting to be diminished, and they will actually isolate that senior from family and will begin to victimize that senior. And then also you have your home improvement people who come in from out of town, will target seniors and scam them. I tell you, we had one particular con man that had been arrested several years back. He does target seniors, and he targets them because he says that they grew up in a trusting age. Generally, back in my grandmother's time, they didn't do business with a contract. They did it on a handshake. A lot of times, an elderly woman who was widowed, who couldn't get up on her roof and do her own home repairs, he would walk up to her door and approach her, and a lot of times that senior's pride gets in the way of them asking for help. And when you have a nice man who shows up at your door and he says, "Hey, Miss Smith, I can recoat your driveway for $150. Let me do it today. I've got extra asphalt from a job down the street. I'd be more than happy to help you." She's inspired by that because now she's got the help that she needs. Unbeknownst to her, in the matter of 30 minutes or so, she's going to become victim because he's not going to do her driveway and he's going to exploit her of that money that he promised her, plus maybe more money.
The Crimes Against Seniors Squad works closely with other local agencies such as the Elder Serve and the Oak and Acorn Intergenerational Center to provide services for persons age 60 or older. Sandy Hamilton is the director of the Crime Victims Program, which provides advocacy for senior victims of crime. In fact, the Crime Victims Program was the first in the nation to develop the Emergency Protective Order Program geared specifically towards senior victims.
Our main role is advocate. We have over 900 clients a year that we work with. We provide escort services to and from court. We work with Robin, we work with the police, we work with the county and the Commonwealth Attorney. We have an emergency crisis response team. We're able to respond 24/7 to a senior in crisis. We're able to house them, feed them, take care of their court needs. We also have an emergency protective order program, which we respond to medically fragile, disabled seniors and issue a domestic violence order in their home. These are nationally recognized programs, the only one like it in the United States, and we're really proud of it.
The Crime Victims Program provides all of their services for people aged 60 and older at absolutely no charge. And you can reach them for more information at 587-8673. Now that we've talked about crimes against the elderly and the services that are available to them, let's take a look at some simple solutions to avoid becoming a victim of crime. Sergeant Schaus is here to tell us more.
People need to learn to say no. We teach our children from day one, from kindergarten, to say no to drugs, say no to strangers approaching them, but we don't take our own advice. When someone comes to your door and they want to do work and they're trying to solicit money from you, just say no. Shut the door and say no. When that telemarketer calls you up and tries to tell you or sell you something that obviously is too good to be true, the little bell or whistle should go in your head to say no and hang up the phone. When someone approaches you in a parking lot, and they say they found $40,000 and they want to split it with you, but all you have to do is maybe accompany them to an attorney's office. That's a typical pigeon drop scam. Say no. No one is going to share $40,000 with you. It doesn't make any sense. 85% of our cases we would not work if people would just learn to say no.
Well, that's a wrap for this edition of Beyond the Badge. We want to thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again. In the meantime, if you need more information on anything you've seen today, or if you have a story idea, give us a call at 574-LMPD. Let's work together to keep Louisville safe.
Metro TV, a public service of Louisville Metro government.